course, you see a story like the one that is unfolding, that the president and the White House seeking a stimulus package that might be more than $1 trillion. And that could include direct, essentially, checks being sent directly to Americans. And you hold your breath and you say, man, don't say the wrong thing here. Understand people are struggling. Have compassion and know that there are people like Marianne from San Antonio who called this show yesterday, who said she was essentially possibly positive for coronavirus and still keeping her job, her self-employed job, where she came in contact with other people because she has 3 hungry mouths to feed. She's the breadwinner, and you have to you recognize the dilemma that she's in. Her doctor recommending she get tested for COVID-19, and she didn't want to. And if you heard the call yesterday, it was dramatic, it was compelling, it was difficult, because I don't want to, and a lot of people were angry at her, but a lot of people felt just awful for her. And I'm thinking of her and what $1,000 check would mean to her. Then I'm thinking of somebody down the street from her who may not need $1,000 and is real happy to put that in the bank, when in reality, she should get $2,000. She should get the neighbor who doesn't need it. Listen, if somehow every American gets $1,000, there's lots of us who are going to be willing to say, I'm going to give it to somebody who needs it. Welcome in. We are at a Wednesday, the coronavirus pandemic. Dr. Anthony Fauci telling reporters it will be weeks before we see the effects of the social spacing and staying home and staying away from each other. I'm in my kitchen today because it makes no sense for a radio broadcaster not to be home. If the guidelines from the CDC and from President Trump and our government and all of our expert officials are saying work from home if you can, I can work from home. Why shouldn't I? And frankly, I think I can't tell other radio hosts what to do. I can't imagine everybody not doing the same thing. The technology in radio now is such that you have a little box and a couple of wires and some internet, and you're good to go. Now, if you're watching the stream, we're even video streaming today. Don't make any interior design judgments of my kitchen, because I'm sitting in my kitchen in my condo in Florida. If you don't like the deck, I didn't do it. I don't. But if you go to our YouTube channel, if you find the Mike Gallagher Show YouTube channel, and you may be sure, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel when you're there. It doesn't cost anything, and you'll see our broadcast from which our new home base, because I think it's wise not to come in contact with anybody at work. So you can check that out. We also, of course, are video streaming at mikeonline.com or Town Hall TV. It's 11 minutes past the hour here in the ReliefFactor.com studios, which are now officially in my kitchen. The only thing we're nervous about is we've had an internet glitch or two in the last half hour. So if the internet goes down, Eric is standing by, because this is the first time we've ever done the show from my condo here in Florida. But let's get to the idea of a stimulus package that could be anywhere from billions of dollars in direct cash payments. Tax cuts are on the table. Billions of dollars in small business assistance. Billions of dollars in airline and industry relief. What does that look like to you? What does that look like in your view? What does that look like in terms of your now? And again, trying to be as sensitive as I can possibly be to everybody who understands the challenges we're facing, because they are many. And all of us, listen, I'm blessed, I'm lucky, I make a good living, I live a good life, I have a family I love, I have good health. I realize now, in working from home for the foreseeable future, I am pretty much utterly isolated and alone from the world. My pantry's stocked up, my fridge is filled, I'll be working from home, doing the radio show from my kitchen like I'm doing today. And I will be doing that possibly for weeks, possibly for months. And I realize how scary that is. And if I'm feeling apprehensive, everybody is. Now, a little bit of a unique situation. I'm a single guy. My kids are spread out all over the country. My friends are all over the country. So, I've got a sort of a degree of isolation that, oddly enough, after doing a radio show, for a few hours a day in front of millions of people, I'm still going to be in a real environment of isolation. And it's scary. We've never been through anything like this before. I've never followed guidelines to work from home. And believe me, if I'm feeling it, I'm thinking about senior citizens who are utterly alone. I keep thinking about waitresses who rely on tips to make a living. I keep thinking about all the people who have small businesses that are closing and don't know when, if ever, they'll open. We are facing a staggering event in America. And yet, I have faith that we'll persevere. I have faith that this is the greatest country in the world and we're going to come together. My goodness. You talk about birds and fish living together. Yesterday, Dana Bash on CNN praising the president and Andrew Cuomo giving the president kudos for the efforts to battle coronavirus in New York State. I'm telling you, you're seeing a level of cooperation and nonpartisanship that happens in times of crisis. And that's, of course, inevitable. It's like post 9/11. Just took a little while for us to get there. So, anyhow, we have a lot to break down today here on the Mike Gallagher Show on this Wednesday, March the 18th. Welcome in our number, 1-800-655-MIKE. Press 1 to come on air with me. Press 2 to leave a voicemail message. You can always text message your comments to us at the My Pillow text line, which is also 800-655-6453. It's a busy day, and again, an eventful day as we are scheduled to visit with Dr. Tony Fauci himself. Let's talk about the economic stimulus. They start handing out $1,000 checks. Who gets the $1,000 and who doesn't? How does the government know who's eligible for $1,000? Again, I'm trying to be very sensitive about that because I know many, many Americans do, and I want to respect that. Let's dive in together. Let's get through this together as Americans, you and me, Team Gallagher. We got this. 800-655-MIKE, 15 past the hour. Your voice, your call, your perspective. Coming up, also a reminder, tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, a special event, Salem Radio Network's coronavirus coverage. Join me along with my colleagues, Hugh Hewitt, Sebastian Gorka, Dennis Prager, others, including SRN White House correspondent Greg Clugston. It'll be live tonight at 6 p.m. And also, we're streaming it on many of these great radio stations.